Hey there, Postal here. So today we are going to hop into a battle with the BV P.212.03 Tier 9 German Multirole Fighter. Let's go ahead and take a look. Alrighty. So we're taking a look at the, in my opinion, maybe not in everybody's, but I think in quite a bit of people's opinion, the best Tier 9 multi-role in the game. Why is that? It was really close for me, to be honest. But the reason that this plane beats out anything that's close to it is just because it is so well balanced. Now, one thing you're going to notice is I have mine set up with the air-to-ground rockets. The air-to-air rockets are okay. Obviously, most people use the air-to-air rockets, but as an actual multi-role, I want something that can toss down some ground attack, and otherwise you just get a fighter, right? What makes this platform so good is it's just so well balanced. The guns aren't the best, but they're good. The maneuverability isn't the best, but it's good. The speed isn't the best, but it's good. Everything's above average on it, other than its length of boost. I think it's only got like a 10-second boost time. Other than that, it is just an all-around good plane. Like, there's not anything that like screams to you as like terrible for a multi-role on this plane, and that's what I think makes this plane so deadly. Right now, I'm freaking zigzagging with this guy at the wrong angle. Is because it can do so much so well. So in this kind of situation, the center is the most important part. We've gone ahead and gotten one of the garrisons. That's all well and good, but we want to be able to get the center comm center, and that way our bombers can be called in and can take some steps to flipping sectors. Unfortunately, my first two rockets didn't really seem to do anything. I think they both hit the radar tower, or they were just short of the radar tower. Either way, I screwed up. But what this plane has in spades is its ability to truly be, jack of all trades, but master of none. It can be out, quote unquote. See you later, there, heavy fighter. So I just had to point out that I did see that heavy fighter, and I was trying to make sure I was going at the proper angle. At any given moment, it can be the best plane. And eek. That would have been like the one time in this battle that a head-on rockets would have done me good. But at any given moment, this plane can be the best at what it's doing. You just have to make sure that you put it in the right situation to be the best at it. So it can outmaneuver quite a lot of planes, and the planes it can't, you're going to want to use your speed advantage to get away from those planes. The planes that can outspeed you, well, play like a fighter and outmaneuver it. Got the center sector. Yay. Oh, this could be dangerous. Oh, I got him anyway. This plane has the highest altitude performance of any of the multi-roles at Tier 9. Not by a significant amount, but every little bit helps, right? This could be dangerous too. Yep. Alright, so at this point I wanted to take the long turn so that way I can have my guns on target for a little bit longer. And the plane's just so consistent. Like, you're never having to fight fight against this plane to be successful. It's just one of those planes where you kind of feel like you're one with the plane, and you and the plane are working together to kick butt and take names. So we have a mining facility, we have a garrison, and we have the center. We are definitely down on points, so we're gonna have to start taking steps to, to turning this around. For me to be able to do that, we want to hang on to the center, but we also need to get an extra sector. These rockets are pretty strong, actually, but they're not so strong to where they're going to be overly helpful in flipping a mining facility. So I want to come over here to the garrison, toss them down there, and get our guns. Oh, shoot. Was not paying attention. Alright. Oh, man. I was hoping that I was going to be able to turn tight enough to get behind him. I think I hit too many trees there. I'm not sure he actually hit me. But if he did, well, good on him. So I figured I'd push that garrison. Our bombers were going there anyway. We helped get the bombers to go for the mining facility. And once we take over the garrison, they'd go for the mining facility kind of thing. At the time, we also only had 2 or maybe 3 reds in the center. And so I thought, okay, well, my plan wasn't to die, obviously. So we need to get back to the center. We did get that other mining facility, which is awesome. But now we need to hang on to the center. Both mining facilities and a garrison. At that point, we'd win if that's how the game just continued. Heck, even if we just had both mining facilities, because they're getting those bonus points. But at this point, let's get the center. Ah, shoot, too late. Alright. So let's go ahead and let's get this guy out of the game. Alright, so what can we do here? Okay, so we're waiting for our ground rockets to reload. They only take 60 seconds, which is really, really nice. Like some of the bombs on some of the other platforms, heck, even some of the rockets just take so long to reload. These rockets reload very, very quickly. Alright, so I thought maybe I could go up there and get that aircraft, but let's stay down low here. Let's take care of what we can down here. And we definitely don't want to be getting into a frickin' scissor battle here, S-curve battle kind of thing, so turning a little bit quicker than I was in the first time I had that situation. That way I was basically cutting them off. We've got our 4 rockets. Let's toss all 4 of them down here. Not pay any more attention to that. Shoot. Not best plan to go after that guy. He was already out of the sector, and he's going away, so I'd be wasting time to go away. Swivel back to the center here. Can we get this? Come on. Overheated the guns. It always happens when you're feel like you're in a do or die situation. It's always when I use too many frickin' guns and burn them out. Alright, so, well, we've got the center section, and so we went from having a very close game to suddenly not being a close game at all. Yeah, ended off pretty well. Let's head on back. Alright, so we were able to end up with 13 frags there, 7,200 damage to aerial targets, 13,000 to ground targets. So, you may wonder, well, not a lot of people are going to question why I've got this as the best Tier 9 multi-role. But I'm going to go into some explanation just for those that haven't gotten it or might wonder, man, my knuckles, again. I also have mine set up for the ground rockets, and so I want to give some explanation to that. What makes this plane so strong is its versatility. It's well balanced in both airspeed and maneuverability. I've got it spec'd out for maneuverability, but once I specialize this plane, I'm going to actually swap and put in speed somewhere in here, because it could use just a little bit more speed, but it's good. It's not lacking in speed, right? There's plenty of battles where I was able to stick with who I was pursuing. You just want to make sure that you're using your engine cooling judiciously. I keep the pneumatic control assist on here just because you're going to run into fighters that might have slightly more maneuverability, and you might need to actually dogfight them. I play this kind of like a fighter. The reason I have the air-to-ground rockets, though, is because there's going to be plenty of times, and you saw it in this battle, where just a little bit more flipping, knocking out a couple ground targets down on the bottom will help you flip a sector. The air-to-air rockets, they're too infrequently used, too unviable in my opinion. And this is just my opinion, but this is also one of the reasons I think it's the best plane. If you want to use the air-to-air rockets, if you want to be just strictly air-to-air aircraft, you can do that with this plane. If you want it to be a maneuverability little swivel bug, that's what this plane can be. If you want it to be high airspeed, you can do that as well. This has the highest altitude performance of any of the Tier 9 multiroles, and it's not by a lot, but it's by enough that you feel comfortable up in the yellow. The guns are so good on this plane. They overheat a little bit, but they hit so strong, and they're they're consistent, and I love that about this plane. I think I was talking about it yesterday in the F-84B. If the F-84B had these guns, I would probably take the F-84B over it, just because it gets so much more air-to-ground armament. And it's just maneuverable enough. But this plane, the 212, has these guns, and so it's what puts it over the top. I play it for air-to-ground. Most people play it for air-to-air. I do the air-to-ground rockets over the air-to-air rockets. The reason being, and I'll have to change this up once I specialize it, but the reason I prefer to air-to-ground is because you get the ability to do supplemental damage to the ground. I'm really kind of annoyed that you can't specialize it with the air-to-ground. The air-to-air rockets, they're not a jump up over the Tier 8 air-to-air rockets. They don't do any more damage. They're just, you're not getting a significant jump up, and you don't get to dictate when you use them as often, right? Air-to-air rockets are best when you're doing a head-on versus somebody, or going against something like a ground attack plane that's going in a relatively straight line. And that doesn't happen all that often where the air-to-air are viable. Granted, they would have been viable in this particular battle, but that's more few and far between, to be honest. The air-to-ground I can use whenever I really feel like it, basically. If I need to help flip a sector a little quicker, I can toss the air-to-ground rockets. And these air-to-ground rockets are significantly stronger than the Tier 8. They do 2,000 damage each, so it's 8,000 cumulative. The blast radius is pretty strong on it. And so I prefer these. I've won many a game with the air-to-ground that I don't feel like I would have won if I had the air-to-air. On top of that, most people play the air-to-air. And so there's just the psychological effect. Most people aren't going to head on you in a 212 anyway. Like, nobody heads on a frickin' 262. Nobody heads on a F-94D. They're all air-to-air rockets. This uses air-to-air rockets, and so most people are going to assume you've got those air-to-air rockets. So just from a psychological standpoint, you're kind of already a leg up. So the reason, again, just to recap, the reason the 212 is the best Tier 9 multirole is because it is a true multirole. It can do a little bit of everything that you want it to do. It is so strong in the air. It can do a little bit on the ground, but enough to be to really make an impact in the game. And you can be a terror of the sky with the 212. I really enjoy this plane, and this might not even be my favorite of the Tier 9 multiroles, but this is just, in my opinion, it's the best of them. It's just a solid all-around performer, and you can really, really have a positive impact on a game. So what do you guys think of this video compilation? I hope you enjoyed it. Do you have all the Tier 9 multiroles as well? If so, do you agree with my assessment of the 212? And, I know most people use the air-to-air. I'm not going to deny that. And the air-to-air are strong, but does anybody do air-to-ground rockets? Does anybody believe they're viable as well? With me? Anywho, I hope you enjoyed these videos. Hope you enjoyed this one specifically as well. And otherwise, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for joining me. Bye.